Hello, I'm Brigantia, Blackbird of Blackbird's Brew. Happy Wednesday. It's time again for another divination demonstration. Now, I've done several heavier, more serious topics and videos lately, so I just wanted something light and breezy for this week's tarot spread, and I think I found it. It's called You're a Badass. I think from time to time we all need a little bit of a boost to our confidence. We spend so much time working on our weaknesses or our failings or addressing mistakes and trying to figure things out, bring things back up to par, dealing with the insanity of the world that, has you doubt your own senses. So I think every now and then we just need something to let us know what our strengths are, just as a little reminder. And the thing about a boost to a self-esteem is that it can't come from a dishonest place or from an empty platitude kind of place in order to be effective. There's all kinds of positive reinforcement that you can find in memes and in videos and everywhere else that you look, but it always falls kind of flat. There's some part of you within your soul knowing that this isn't really about you, this is just about someone, even if it's someone you've never met, someone putting out a message that's just supposed to make you feel better, but it's not actually acknowledging any of your core values or your core strengths or any of your skills or anything that's real and genuine and authentic about you. However, with this tarot spread, I think we can address that a little bit. So it's just 3 cards, so it's really super short. And you arrange them kind of loosely in a triangle, first card, second card, third card. And the first card asks us, what makes you a badass? And of course, as per usual this month, we are using the Sacred Circle Tarot. It is written by Anna Franklin and it's illustrated by Paul Mason. So, first card, what makes you a badass? The card for this querent, they pulled the King of Cups, subtitled Water, and it's all about showing and exploring the depths of emotions and being willing to show what those are about. Emotional authenticity. It's about truth, it's about honesty, but it's also about being nurturing, being affectionate, being empathetic, intuitive, looking at the world through really soft eyes, gentle eyes, kind eyes, not necessarily ignoring, the rough edges of the world, but simply accepting them for what they are, and seeing that they aren't the only thing that exists in real. There are nicer things, better things as well. So that's a pretty nice core trait to have, that, at the bottom of this person's heart, what they really believe is that this world has value, and that value is worth considering and exploring. Not too shabby. So the second card in this badass spread is your superpower. For our querent, they pulled the 6 of Swords. 6 of Swords is subtitled Solace, and it's about moving away from difficulties, gaining into the insight into the nature of problems, and having effective coping methods. This is the card of a survivor. You see what the problem was, and then you got on with life. You learned what the nature of the problem was, so you could ascertain what the root causes were, how it can be helped, how it can be hindered, what you can do to improve the situation, and then deciding on behaviors and engaging in those behaviors that actually make the situation better, allow you to move further from it, and so that you can go into the next phase of life. That's a pretty badass superpower, legitimately, because we have so few influences, we have so few voices that are saying, you do need to eventually pull yourself together. I know this hurt, I know it was a bad experience, what happened was awful, but that happened then, and you're here now, and you have somewhere else to be in the future. Maybe it's time to collect yourself and decide that you're going to work on being okay again. You very seldom get that. Instead, you have a lot of encouragement for people to wallow, and you're never going to escape, you'll never overcome, and all this nonsense. This querent is a repudiation of that entire philosophy. 6 of Swords, move away from those difficulties, get on with life. Very strong card. Now, the last card, which I think is very fun, and a real good confidence booster, is how you're going to conquer the world. And our querent pulled the Shaman. This is a magical person. The Shaman is tied up with their literal relationship to the land, not just the symbolic, not just the spiritual, but the literal day in, day out relationship with their land. This is about flowing with the ebbs of the season. This is about the ebb and flow of the tides themselves. This is every natural energy, and the Shaman finding their place within it. So it's about attunement, It's also about recovery and training of the psychic senses. You know, all of our intuitive impulses that we didn't know to curtail and suppress in childhood, that, you know, as adults we're having to peel back all those layers to bring them back up to snuff. That's also the work of this shaman. It's about piercing the veil of lies to see the truth, and having all of your senses at your disposal and being able to see clearly, being able to see things for what they are and make your plans accordingly. There is something that's a little bit more observational about the shaman. It's not so much about active interference, but I think it is about setting an example. You see what goes on in the world, you know, you see things that are out of balance, out of whack, don't make sense, and you're not necessarily yelling from the rooftops about how this needs to stop, but you are certainly setting a good example with your behavior, saying, things don't have to be this way, look at my life, this is proof positive that things do not have to be in the pit of despair all the time. And the last note about this card that I want to bring up is about illumination from within. This is a light bringer, a torchbearer, someone who has sufficient intellectual, emotional, mental, and spiritual strength to forge ahead, even if the rest of the crowd isn't following them right at this very moment. This is about having confidence in your independent judgment, and in not being so attached to the opinions of other people that you'll sacrifice what you truly are, what you truly think, what you truly think and believe should occur for the sake of accommodating the preconceptions of other people. So, pretty awesome cards in this spread. And again, if you're feeling down and low about yourself, if you're just struggling in some way, this could be something that can realign your thinking. This spread can say, you know, look, this is what you're really good at. This is what you have effectively done, you know, in the past, present, and you can continue to do in the future. And this is the nature of your power. This is what you can do to really move things forward and create a world that you want to live in, or at least be part of that creative process. So, I think this is a pretty cool spread. I'm going to be trying it for myself later on today. If you decide to use it, please let me know what you thought, if it helped, if it gave you just a little bit of a boost and made you, stand up a little straighter, square those shoulders, and face the world. Let me know what your reaction was. Probably the best way to do that is to join us at Blackbird's Brew if you haven't already done so. There will be a link in the description below. So, I think that's it for this week. Of course, next week we will have another divination demonstration, and that'll be Mabon, so we'll have something that is really focused on that spot. So, I hope you come back for that. But, bye for now.